Hello everyone. Welcome to this webinar brought to you by Bursa Malaysia and managed by LifeChamp. My name is Nazura and I will be the moderator for today's session. Our title today is Investing Responsibly Understanding ESG Opportunities in Malaysia's 2025 Budget. Have you ever wondered how your investments can not only grow your wealth but also make a positive impact on the world? Are you curious about how ESG fits into Malaysia's 2025 budget and what it means for your portfolio? Today, more investors are looking beyond traditional financial returns and focusing on environmental, social, and governance ESG factors, which aligns with their portfolio values that support a more sustainable future. So today, we are honored to have Ms. Joyline Chai to share her expertise on how you can leverage ESG opportunities to make responsible, profitable investment decisions. Before we proceed, allow me to make a short disclaimer. Please be reminded that everything that shared in this session is mainly for educational purpose and by no way we are providing you advice to buy or sell any securities. You are 100% liable if you make any investment decisions. So now, allow me to briefly introduce our esteemed speaker for today. She is none other than Miss Joyline Chai. Joyline Chai is the founder of SJ Consultancy and Management and co-founder of Global Hemisphere Group Sindian Berhad. She is a HRDF certified trainer with expertise in sustainability, CSR, Sustainable Development Goals, and ESG. With 11 years of experience in training, she has worked with companies locally and internationally. Joyline holds a bachelor's degree in accounting and finance from Anglia Ruskin University and is the vice president of the ESG Association of Malaysia. So, with that being said, let us warmly welcome Miss Joyline Chai to the floor. Good day, Miss Joyline. How are you?
Hello, good evening to everyone. I hope that everyone can, um, be patient with my voice. I lost my voice 3 days ago, but I'm still here. So, hi everyone. I hope you have had your dinner. If not, I hope that you also being here with us, and then you have your dinner together as well. So today we're going to share a little bit about the how the whole Malaysia movement in different policy, which especially recent years we have so many policy makeup. Why it is for the alignment with the global. Now, today, when before I go into further, let me recap a little bit that what is ESG. I know some of you have been here before and you know what is that, but I just want to have the understanding because a lot of things has changed for the past 1 year with the new policy coming up. Later on, I'll be also sharing what Bursa Malaysia has also shared on some announcement, which is quite latest, is exactly a month ago. Okay, so when we talk about ESG, a lot of people are very focused on the carbon emission. So, which is, you can see they talk about carbon footprint, and carbon footprint also has to differentiate, which is one in organization, one is on the product, and another one is in the project. So, product carbon footprint has become more and more important. As you can see, that a lot of the country has implement the calculations and also tax on that. So when we talk about carbon tax, it's basically what the footprint that we produce. So that will be very much directly affected the climate change, which in the E part. When we talk about other things that we are, what is the emission that will also cause us in the impact will be like financing, land protection, deforestation. However, this is just one part of the climate change because the whole ecosystem also involved in regenerative agricultures, natural resources, and also water stress. So as you know that the water has become lesser and lesser, and every company, especially when we talk about more established company, you are doing in manufacturing or you're focusing in production, water is something that we need to really look into preservation. So that is very much when we talk about EPAT. And of course, wildlife conservation is also part of the environmental opportunity where a lot of people miss out because when these wildlife get extinct, it actually hurt the whole ecosystem. And we hurt it hurt the ecosystem that will be cost us have a lot of you know imbalance, and then we will get lesser and lesser for raw material to be formed out. Yeah. Now, um, when we talk about social part, a lot of people think about social part is CSR. They talk about the labor, which is nowadays is very hot topic. We talk about equality, we talk about diversity, and of course, I know some of you heard about Donald Trump has took off the DEI policy. You know, these are things that have been debated very openly. However, I just want you to look into other things as well. Actually, product safety and quality is also part of the social, especially for medication. If the medication wasn't in a proper taken care of, it will actually have more effect towards or not only human reputation and also it will cost a lot of life. So this will be health risk as well. So this is also part of S. So S is not only just about employee, not only just about the labor, local community. It is actually quite a big view that it will directly trigger a social problem. Then we talk about governance. That will be more straightforward. We talk about only two things. One, you talk about governance. Second is how the leaders there, how they behave. So these two usually is very straightforward in black and white when we talk about your ownership, how your board diversity, do you have 30% of female in your board? And when you talk about behavior, it's directly about did you cause any instability with any illness behavior or any conduct that you have done was not improper in ethics. So just a recap for everyone understanding on the ESG is a very huge coverage, but I just want it to narrow down because whatever I mentioned just now is very quite related to later I'll be sharing what's the update on the framework that will help you understand more about the company that you're going to invest. Are they going through that phases as well? Yeah. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. So actually Malaysia ESG movement not started right only now. It just kept the attention in the late 2018. But in 2010, we has already established the Green Technology Funding Scheme. So it has benefited a lot in the Green Technology Funding Scheme. And then just for everyone to know, Malaysia actually have the first green sukuk. And also we are one of the tax incentive for Sri Sukuk issuers. So these are something we are very proud of. And for a listed company, the sustainability reporting requirement doesn't started now. It started back in 2015. It's almost 10 years ago. So it evolved becoming more. Of course, it's very related to what our global change as well, and also the climate. Like now, compared to 10 years ago, the heat is more hot compared to last time. So due to all these external issue, it actually affect how the reporting requirement changes and also how the roadmap towards ESG revolution. So as you know, in 2023, on June, uh, the announcement of the International Sustainability Standard Board, which is ISSB, came in. So at that time, Malaysia is still observing. And then in 2024, we have announced on the National Sustainability Reporting Framework that we are going to adopt ISSB. So at that time, a lot of people were wondering what will be the changes, especially when the Bursa requirement just put up that in 2022 require that all listed companies shall comply with TCFD and the 11 indicators that have been listed out. So as a retail investor, we need to understand why these changes come so quickly. They just do it in 2022 and then they have the latest announcement in 2024. Reason is very simple. Because the world changed very fast and as one of the biggest export country, and also the whole ecosystem were built in a way that import and export play a very big supply chain role. The company that have comply with it will see themselves be more transparent towards their investors. So fast forward, if you could say until 2021, we're doing really great actually. So what happened that like I shared with you, because the international comes in with a lot of rulings and changes, we also keep on changing. Now I want to highlight something in 2024, since we're in the first month of January that we're going to have Chinese New Year soon. So I just want to highlight a little bit what is in 2024 so that you could understand. Now, in February, the Advisory Committee on Sustainability Reporting published the public consultation paper on NSRF. NSRF means National Sustainability Reporting Framework. They talk about we should look into ISSB. What is in ISSB content of IFRS 1 and 2? So what is that? So when July, what happened is Environmental Quality Amendment Act comes into operation. So these changes help company to comply more on what they are going to be more responsible on their carbon footprint. And then in September 2024, Malaysia launched the National Sustainability Reporting Framework. So in the National Sustainability Reporting Framework, they talk about IFRS 1 and 2. So 1 is talking about financial related goal, and then in the IFRS 2 is more on climate. So public listed company will have to comply these two. Yet Bursa has not announced anything yet because they are also reviewing. So what happened is National Sustainability Reporting Framework, they aim for phases implementation of Scope 3 emission disclosure. So what is Scope 3? Scope 1 and Scope 2, we all know that it's like a must, but Scope 3 is what a lot of people wondering, why this carbon emission will affect my investment. In fact, Scope 3 is the biggest emission around the world. For example, we drive our cars, how we actually do the usage of operation daily, those uncalculated those things are very important because these are the biggest emission. For example, if one traffic jam, how many emission was caused there? So imagine if there is a transportation for this company and then they were stuck in this situation, then the whole supply chain will be affected. Okay, we're not talking only about traffic jam. We talk about weather that cause flight delay, flight cancel, or even any shipping through the sea that will be also affected. So in September 2024, it's really a happening month, and Malaysia started to launch National Climate Change Policy 2.0. So a fun fact to you, actually National Climate Change Policy has been launched in Malaysia in 2009. But by then, the policy is just statement. Why? If all of you still recall, and if you are young enough to go back until 2004, which is 20 years ago, what happened was like, the Indiana Oceans in Asia side, we have excuse me, our first ever tsunami. So what happened in the tsunami? Actually, it affect a lot of people's lives. And if you can recall, that is also a very big effect in Malaysia as well. We are very lucky. We were actually stopped by this, we were I would say protected by this Sumatra. So I personally came from Penang. So I witnessed the thing happen in this small island. it was really a bad one. Yeah. So at that, because of this issue, the whole world is looking into the global climate change. That's why Malaysia started to launch national climate change policy. That was 1.0. So after 15 years, we are now launching 2.0 with more comprehensive idea to also bring in private sector as part of the players so that they can together with the government help to reduce this global climate issue. So these are all important things that company will have to take charge in it. Yeah. Okay. So on October, this is the most important highlight. During the budget announcement on the 18th, Malaysia announced that carbon tax will comes in on 2026 to facilitate the net zero transition. So when this happened, if you read in the budget, the whole book is just few lines statement. It didn't tell you what it's really going to do. In fact, it's a rush. Why it is in a rush? So a lot of people think why you have to come in 2026, you cannot come in later on. So in fact, carbon tax has been always in the plan, where 2019 our neighbor Singapore has took effect that voluntary carbon tax being take effect. So they took 5 years to get everyone familiarized, and in 2024, 1st of January, they implemented. So compare a country that you have 5 years of experience, you understand that how much pressure they have to go into it because you need to cut down of the carbon footprint. The issue is always how mitigate. We always know that there will be risks, but how are we going to mitigate these risks? These are the main challenges. So, when Malaysia announced for the carbon tax in 2026, we have to go on with it because, as I said just now, we are one of the biggest exporting country in the world. 75 billions are in 2022 on our Malaysia exportation number. So most of the public listed company will be affected. So when carbon tax comes in, it will be also a big part that how company will run their framework properly. Please excuse me for a moment that I just would like to take a drinks to soften my throat. Thank you. So in 2024, you could see there's so many things happening. And the last month on 2024, we thought we finished in October, right? No, the last month on 2024 is more happening. So what is it? Let me share to you. So on the 18th of December, National SDG Council has agreed with a national ESG strategic plan. So national ESG strategic plan, which means that Malaysia will soon have a total framework that will show how it runs, and it will be more clear for the investor and also for the company how they're going to implement it. This is a good thing because we have been like floating for the past 2 years. So if you study back whatever that past 2 years, we are somewhere here, somewhere there, and there's so many framework that we did not know what to do. But very happily that we actually come into an agreement. So 5 days after this announcement, Bursa Malaysia make a very huge announcement that the sustainability reporting will be using the IFRS Sustainability Disclosure Standard, which is you can read over here on the 23rd of December. It's a very big Christmas present. So which means that IFRS S1, which is general requirement for disclosure related to financial information, and IFRS S2 is climate related disclosure. So this is all under the ISSP, which is from the National Sustainability Reporting Framework. So 2024 is a very happening year. You see so many policy changes. You see so many things change. And even before the final 8 days of 2024, Bursa makes a very huge announcement. This is on a Monday itself. So this has shown that as investors, we need to actually look into not only one angle, but also a lot of angles in a way how the company no longer just doing because of the reputation. To be honest, it's no longer just reputation. It's about how to avoid the disruption of supply chain. If they are not going to practice sustainability and the raw material run off, definitely they will have a very huge disruption in their supply chain. And we all know what will happen if supply chain being cut down. So things not going to move. It's going to affect what? It's going to affect profit and loss. Yeah. So also, Asian taxonomy for sustainability finance, this thing has not been a big topic for a while. And then when the version 3 comes out, it shows that the focus sector is mostly RD scope 3. If you could see agriculture, forestry, fishing, electricity, manufacturing, transportation, these are all that is the need for us, that we need it for the daily usage. And it's also all these sectors are the largest production of the carbon footprint on scope 3. So when ATB, which is ASEAN Taxonomy Board, came out with this version, they actually want us to look into more enabling sectors, how we can capture, utilize our carbon, in the same time, how we can mitigate risk. Again, you see, a lot of the policy came out is because they want to mitigate risk. And then, of course, there's a question, why they want to mitigate risk right now? Can't they mitigate it earlier? Because when there's no pain, there's no gain. So now we feel the pain, then only we start following the rules. This is very normal for every situation. And due to all this, so in the budget of 2025, there are so many things that involve for the growth of not only in the sustainability matters, focusing on ESG, it's also very much talking about how the overall, not only as SME, but as listed company can also utilize. Now, I want to recall a little bit now, Malaysia commitment. Although the 13 Malaysia plan has announced, yet they don't have a proper blueprint yet. That's why we are still very much refer back to the 12 Malaysia plan. And if you look into the 12 Malaysia plan, especially when it comes to operationalize, those highlighted in red color is still very much what facing by Malaysia. And you look into this big picture, it is the biggest effect towards all company, especially when we talk about disaster risk management. Where in Malaysia, biggest disaster is the flood. And this flood has caused a lot of disruption when it comes to supply chain, which is it affect raw material, affect transportation, affect delivery time. And all this is because we did not integrate a very good circular economy process. But at least we understand that our environmental sustainability is very related to our business. So of course, Job Malaysia plan is until 2025 this year. Yet I can foresee that in 2026 onwards, when they move on with the 13 Malaysia plan, the disaster risk management, circular economy, renewable energy, especially when we talk about green, it will be a big one because we are moving towards to the net zero transition, which means that we need to move on low carbon. And all this will affect the company, that how they are going to run their operation. And it's no longer just about running business as usual. It's running business in a way how long-term profit can be achieved through a very clean operation, in a way how you can actually practice circular economy. Because all this will create the economic growth through social factor. Yeah. Now, show you some Malaysia commitment. Malaysia commit to actually go to net zero greenhouse gas by 2050. So In this way, when you look into economy side, we have a lot of certification program. We have a lot of income tax exemption. We also want to train a lot of human capital because this is one of the main movement. Excuse me. Sorry, thank you. So when we look into the climate action, energy efficiency and renewable energy is a main focus now. So this is very aligned to our government ambitions, which is going to net zero 2050. And for that, we really need a lot of advocator. And advocator is human. We can have very good policy, very good idea, but if let's say the company and also the people, the leaders in there, they are not willing to invest into it, and then we may deteriorate, and then we will go into the same cycle again. But when policy comes out in a way, it's a soft way to force you to move on. So Malaysia have pledged this commitment. I think around all the world, almost two-thirds of a country, two-thirds of the globe has actually moving on towards this direction, which is going to net zero by 2050. Yeah. So next movement, I want to share something that this has been happened quite some time, yet not a lot of people know. When we move this roadmap towards zero single-use plastic, because plastic was really one of the biggest waste and it create a lot of carbon footprint, it fill up our landfill as well. To be honest to you, Malaysia every year produce 38,000 tons of waste. And if we continue with this number, when we reach 2050, we will face a very big challenge, which we do not have enough landfill to actually collect all our waste. So this is also one of the roadmap that has been widely promoted by the national um, level. Yet only a few big players in the listed co adopting this. So this is one of the biggest challenge that not only company wants to go in, but also we're talking about how it affect the whole supply chain in the movement. So this is one of the biggest Malaysia commitment to reduce because waste, plastic, these are going to create more carbon footprint. So I want to share about what is the Institutional Investor Council Malaysia. This one is a platform for investor, especially on pension fund, insurance company, asset manager. They want to cooperate and advocate for responsible investment, sustainable investment, and the most important is they want to create long-term value for their investor. So ESG become one of their factors. And also they want to help to improve the ESG ecosystem in Malaysia. So these are the main sector that the principle of codes. And I want you to look into principle 5, incorporating sustainability consideration. So these 7 principles is not just only showing you that we are not focusing on other things, but sustainability consideration has become so important because they play a very big part in our life. If we are not putting this into the company operation, then it will be affect not only just the operation or not only as a company, because nowadays we know that the supply chain move around company to company. Later on, I will show you some example how some company they are very famous, their share price are not as what we see in the expectation. Yeah, okay. So MGTC is one of the government agency that also focus in driven technology adoption in climate action. They want us to work together into transition into low carbon, like I shared just now, and climate resilient economy. Now, the reason why I share all this because they are part of the player when it comes to the budget 2025. And these people, I want to show you that these people has been there for long, and some of the company are actually have good relationship with them because they may be their grant taker where you miss in the annual report. And also you may see that some of the company have been they are taking very good leverage to utilize whatever this framework has been done by all these agency. Yeah. Now, let's go to the highlight. When I talk about highlight, it's not just about SME. We'll talk about how the company can also be utilized on that. So the first one is on tax incentive. As we know that this July, e-invoicing will be coming. So before e-invoicing, we talk about automation. Now things are going like AIs. We talk about EV. We talk about how we can make logistic to be more simplified. And all this tech incentive has been provided. Yeah. Second is the new investment incentive from the government, which is government allocated 1 billion for new investment incentive framework, which they really want us to move into this circular economy. The third thing is any ICT equipment, computer software, all these are capital allowance. So this is a big move that digitalization. So all this budget, they show you something. When you want to invest, the first question is this company being automated in certain of their level that they can cut down the costing? Second, are they actually using digitalization? Because this is what the world is moving towards. And all of these have proven that we can save more costing. Yeah. So you can also study the way how the company moving on in this direction when you talk about budget 2025. Of course, I want to highlight a little bit on the special zone, economic zone. When we talk about Johor Singapore Special Economic Zone, which is announced, the Forest City Special Economic Zone, this is also some special incentive. And the next one will be focusing on flexible working arrangement. After the COVID, a lot of changes in human behavior. We believe that you do not need to be in the office all the time. As long as you have the productivity, you can work on it. But of course, this is debatable. Yet there are still incentive for flexible working arrangement because it allows you for 50% deduction on the expenses where you use for flexible working arrangement, which means like Zoom, like we are using now, or any other software acquisition. Huh? And lastly, dividend tax. So I know this one, a lot of people very painful, but for individual shareholder, dividend income over 100,000. So I hope that you can reach this threshold. When you reach this threshold, you are really in halfway to financial freedom. It's a happy problem. I will put it in that way. Okay. So I want to share this highlight to you is because you need to understand what is the budget is moving on so that you understand in your company in the company that you invest on or any share that you invest on. Are they tapping in this budget? Because if you have seen just now where I share Malaysia highlight on the policy making, it actually is a big movement towards any new changes. And these new changes will actually make a lot of difference in how they are putting costing. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on. Next topic. Now, I want to show you that stock bond sector that which very benefit from ESG. Of course, I put these three companies just for your reference, okay? But there are actually advantage on it. So renewable energy, solar power, because solar gas is quite being famous. Hydropower, biomass, all these are benefit from government incentive and they are growing demand. So when you study their project pipelines, their proven record, you can actually see they have been utilizing government incentive a lot. Second, EV. We cannot deny EV is getting bigger market. Almost now, especially in central Malaysia, almost like 40% and above have an EV car as a second car. So charging infrastructure is getting more and more. Even nowadays, not only shopping malls, those who are Starbucks lover, you can see they also provide this EV charging. So this is a very significant growth, especially when it comes to battery technology. And they even have a way how to dispose it or reuse it. So this too is a very good incentive that they have been utilizing from the government incentive. Lastly, green building materials and construction. Of course, we talk about green building a lot of times. I think we talk about green building more than 20 years already. Yet, we do not have a very good idea how the whole framework works until recent past 6 years. Okay, we can start to see that township development become different. They're focusing more on how building construction to be done. So one of my client, I really like them. They actually apply for their office to be green building. So they have to do a lot of different things, which I see it very nicely done. And it actually helped to save their costing in actually running the operation. And also they are promoting these building standards. In a way, they're also utilizing this government incentive. One of them really share a lot of good idea how they run. They are actually publicly listed company. So they show me how the rain harvesting system that they are doing to actually use in certain floor of their toilets. So these are actually good ideas and good initiative. And then it really helps tremendously to cut down 20% of their water bill. Because for now, Malaysia, we are still very much using a lot of our water bills in a way because it's cheap. Second, we are actually one of the top country waste a lot of water because we're using clean water. Just to share with you in your toilet, the water comes out is the same as the one from your kitchen because we only pay one bill. Like in Central, we only pay to highest land, we don't pay to anybody. So the water are equally clean. So this is something that we can look into it. So if company is doing uh, rainwater harvesting, they actually save a lot of water, especially when they start to use it for their toiletry. Yeah. Now I want to move on when we talk about green bonds as well. Some companies or government agency that involve, especially in renewable energy and green building project. I have not seen transportation movement in Malaysia. Mostly are renewable energy and green building project. So these are the things that we really want to look into the company movement when they have some bonds as well. And Sukuk, like I have shared before, and most important is government company. They are increasingly incorporating ESG factors there. So like who Khazanah, you can actually look into Khazanah. Khazanah, they have a proper framework and idea how to move on. And also I want to share is Pemodalan Nasional Berhad. You can also look into it. It's how the opportunity to actually invest in alongside on their sustainable project. So these are the three sectors that you to look into when it comes into investment. Yeah. Now, why ESG matter in investing? Since we already know the changes around the world, and we also know that one of the biggest challenge is the carbon tax. And why carbon tax is coming in? In a way, we want to align with whatever happened with carbon border adjustment mechanism, CBAM. Yeah. So 82% of investors they feel like ESG should actually integrate in the company strategy. And 66 of them feel that C-suite must also be responsive. We don't look all over the globe. We look at Asia Pacific enough. Comparison, the ESG user has increased from 32 to 34%, 27 to 32%. These are the these are the company that are considering ESG strategy. So from here, we could really see that ESG has become one of the central approach for investor to ensure whether their returns will be more guaranteed or not. Yeah. So some facts are to show you as well. 73% believe that business have a duty to behave more ethically. We don't want to have too much of the fraud issue happen. 65% believe that ethical businesses will deliver better investment. And of course, 47% of 100,000 USD portfolio is amount must go into ESG principle investment. So this one is a survey between 14 countries, 4,643 consumers. So even before it become a big hit in Malaysia, other places has done this study and it has shown the real case. And does it affect Malaysia very much? The answer is yes, because we are part of the global chain. We cannot run away. Yeah. So some facts to actually show you what is the outperformance of ESG stocks over industry. So what type of industry they have better returns when they have ESG? So food and beverage is the first one. Then energy company, healthcare, utilities. So we can see all these are, if they perform with ESG, they actually perform better in their returns. And also, I want to show you that stronger ESG performance is actually in the emerging markets. So, like for example, ASEAN. ASEAN has been one of the big, how to say, potential big emerging markets. So we last time we have this EU North America, South America. So ASEAN has become one of the big players as well. And especially Malaysia this year is the ASEAN chairman. We chair the leaders. We could actually have more factors to see how we can grow in a way to actually invite our neighbors into our economic. So all other company will want to take the opportunity to actually expand, especially we are the host. Last year alone, Cambodia was the chairman. Last year, Cambodia chairman alone they have less than 10 listed company. They have less than 10 listed company. Yet, because they are the ASEAN chairman last year, their GDP is a double-digit growth now. Double-digit. So, looking back in Malaysia, we are one of the country that has the most listed company within ASEAN. We has the most, even compared with Thailand or Singapore. So, what would this opportunity comes in, which means that how the businesses able to tackle in this opportunity will actually gain more. Yeah. So I want to share in the little bit of the analysis since that we know the fact and factors. Now, in Malaysia, we have a dedicated ESG scores, which is we focus in these three pillars and 14 themes. And we focus on very dynamically on how biodiversity, climate change, pollution, customer responsibility, which I explained just now in the first slide. Why I share that? Because it is one of the important indicators that help us to see how the company perform. Then you must have that question, did any company have performed all the 14 teams and 300 plus indicators? The answer is yes. But is whether they get a good result is another thing. But still, we have majority jump of company they are still struggling. This does not show that the company is not good, just show that they are not so ready for the sustainability change. Yet it become one of the most concerned. Why? Investor wants to know that if I actually put money into it, whether can I get this kind of promising or not. Because every time we wanted we wanted more, we actually realized that we have less to offer. So when you have these factors range for assessment, it will be easier for you to actually have a look on the company that you presented and how they actually work on. So I want to share a little bit on Brusa specific ESG disclosure because this very related to the company that you are looking at an investment. So Bursa Malaysia always provide guidance how the ESG reporting for listed company to be run. But of course, this year will be quite a challenge for those who have 2 billion and above because they're being required to actually use IFRS 1 and 2. But trust me, they are getting ready already, which means that 2, 3 years ago, they are already asking about that. Yeah. So as it launched in 2023, they've been studying. So it's not a big issue. The big issue will happen for those less than 2 billion. They have to report next year onwards. Remember the 23rd December uh, announcement by the Bursa? The the company that will be headed will be the one that has not ready for IFRS 1 and 2, which is going to report in 2026. All main market, all main market. ACE market will start in 2027. So they have that kind of feeling. So it's like I just study and get used with whatever that have been shared in 2022 for the reporting guide. Now, one announcement had changed the whole game field again. So mandatory disclosure now is very direct. You use IFRS 1 and 2, and then how to comply, how to approach, and how to update all the changes is no longer aligned with TCFD. It's all in IFRS. But TCFD still play a role. I'll show you how. So this is the updated due diligence to be considered by you. So last time, everybody talking about TCFD, talking about GRI, talking about other thing, IIRC, SASBC, CDB. So I show you this is I wanted to let you know that IFRS is consolidated under this ISSB. So the TCFD influence the ISSB and the GRI complements it, which means that there's still ISSB is a combination of all to make it one standard that's easier to be adapted. And TCFD has announced they have surrendered themselves for ISSB, which means that you will see another 2, 3 years onward, TCFD no longer will exist because TCFD in the first place, they're supposed to be there as a task force for 3 years. But they keep going on because nobody is taking up the responsibility and push for it until we reach our problem now. We know that in 2023 and 2024, we have the hottest month. Every year we have the hottest month. Hopefully, we won't have now, this year. Even you read the newspaper, they're telling you that Thailand is probably going to have very cold February. This is not normal. This is what global climate change happening. So when it comes back to this, when you as a retail investor, when you want to check your due diligence towards this company, you need to understand that they have to start using ISSB. So in a more clearer look for you is in this way. So IFRS have this ISSB, TCFD is going up. So IFRS 1 and 2 is first one, like I said just now, is a financial related. The second one will be more climate related. Okay, so these two is very much that Bursa requirement IFRS 1 and 2 disclosure. For any company that you invest 2 billion and above, this year they have to disclose using IFRS 1 and 2. All main market comes in 2026. All its market has to comply in 2027. Yeah. So this is a consolidated change, a huge change in 23rd December when it was announced. But looking in long term, it is good for investor because they have to, businesses have to be more uh, transparent and have to think further how they are going to run their business more ethically, more responsibility, and to ensure the sustainability of their income and return, the ROI lah. Okay, so I have to share that ESG can be actually very related to profitability because you go one round and see it's all interrelated. We cannot say that one thing we don't want, one thing we want this, no more. Because this is a very true case, especially when it comes to product liability. A lot of time, too much of defect will actually hurt not only reputation, hurt all the income because the cost of replacement is getting high. So these are the things that we cannot be avoid. Yeah. Now, as promised just now, we'll give you some example. I want to declare here, not pinpoint anything. If you love the company, go ahead. I'm just trying to show you when we compare giant to giant, how it looks like. So Eco World Development Group, it is a big name for everyone. My office beside also, I saw some people laughing. Yeah, but just telling you the truth lah. We have to be rational sedikit lah. So they also have a development beside my office lah. I love them seeing building up slowly. Last time I had very nice view. Now they actually they become my view lah. Okay. So as you can see, for the past 6 months, their increase of their, uh, market lah. So, uh, let's see how they declare in their sustainability statement. Okay, this is how they declare the sustainability statement. You ask me, is it good or bad? I won't say bad. I won't say too good. Because you see, they tell you directly their project received green certification. Under which green certification? Quite straightforward, and they cannot simply declare because they are listed company, they will have due diligence, and they also tell you 100% of their procurement budget is spent on local supplier. 100% of the new suppliers screen using ESG criteria, and of course zero case bribery. 100% of them go through assessment, zero breach on privacy. They are using TCFD reporting, absolute scope 2 emission reduction. Wow. You see, this is a big word, absolute scope 2 emission reduction by 15% since 2019. And they use solar. They also have the 2050 net zero roadmap. Now you know why I tell you all the story about Malaysia policy, because all the company will comply. And then how much ton of waste. And also one good thing, you see they do biodiversity assessment. Okay, so you think this company is good enough, right? I also think good enough lah. Let's look into another one. Don't tell me you compare the size lah, because the reality is when you see how they do their report, you will actually know who are the one that really integrate the sustainability into their business strategy. Yeah, job lah, although, but that one is 2 ringgit plus. This is 26.8. And then you look at the 26.8 report. Very dynamic and telling you everything. They put it out as a way in product stewardship, supply chain. You see, they tell you supply chain. Why they telling you supply chain? You have to look at it because this is where their raw material and all the thing come out. You see, they tell you more than they engage how many global and local supplier. And the palm oil they use is 100% sustainable. Also, they tell you that they build capacity of farmers and how many of their partners program been participated by. Means this this company is doing a very thorough into their operation. Then let's look into the next one. They talk about their value they create for the society. I want to actually show you this 64% product endorsed with healthier choice logo symbol. Means what? Means 64% of the product has done good R&D that makes sure when we purchase the product, we have 64% of safety law. Okay. 81 volunteers build a check dam at the waterfall. Build a dam. Build a dam is a very huge thing. Huh? And then they participated in more than 1,400 schools. And then they look at their people. They are not only helping outside, they help their own employee to grow. You look at how many hours per employee training, 33. 12 hours for non-executive. And then they undergo ESG related training since 2022, more than 25,000 hours, which means that they keep really good record on everything. Yeah. And of course, as usual, we always focus the E very much. So they integrate water warehouse in Thailand and Malaysia to reduce 1400, which is 1,400 of emission. So where is the plant? They also tell you where is it. Kota Kinabalu, Rajana, Wang Wang. Okay. So 19 million ringgit worth of new investment on their solar. In which location? And of course, since we know supply chain is so important, they also tell you how they create value chain impact. So they use AI power reverse vending machine. They also shared to you their packaging recyclable is more than 99%. They cannot declare 100%, don't look nice, ma. So they tell you more than 99%, no? 99.1 also more than 99%, ma. Okay? 100% of storage of daily products converted into organic fertilizer. What does that mean to you? All the waste from their dairy product become their fertilizer. This is a very huge thing, because when we read the report, it looks very simple. But to actually get the things done is the hardest part. So when you compare these two reports, you started to know why those dividends are paying higher, why they perform better, why they can move forward faster. Because they started since very, very, very young. Of course, these two company age time also slightly different. But I have no doubt that both are performing good. I just want to show you what is in their sustainability statement does make a big effect in how their profit and loss movement. Yeah. Of course, one day, I hope that the previous one that I shared, they can also grow as this big lah. Now, so when you do your performance construction, what you should actually know as an investor, you need to actually think what is the ESG factors that really affect your investment decision, but also alongside your traditional financial analysis. You must understand whatever they declare in the report, there must be some investment doing this. So it should be reflected in the financial statement as well. How can you declare something you do, then you don't need money to do it? Impossible. That must be reflected in the financial statement. So this is the thing that I really want to highlight on. Next, different approaches to ESG investing. So there's also some metrics. Why I keep sharing on the metrics? Because these are the things that you can look into it. And then you can evaluate. So you say that, is it hard to find all this? It's actually quite easy. You need to go to the related website. When I say related website, which means that the metrics being used by Bursa Malaysia or Malaysia government, don't go and get somewhere else and then you compare, then it will give you headache because every country still have slight difference on their uh, presentation and comparison. I can give you, for example, like Vietnam, they only consider E and S. They don't look into G. So it's a very different thing. Yeah. Then do some screening. It is not a bad thing nowadays. If you have Chat GPT, you purchase them, you can actually put up the report and ask them to analyze you for the main point first before you go to the second round. Yeah. So nowadays screening become more easy with AI. So you also practice responsible investing. Positive screening, we also need to select actively selecting those company that are actually have strong ESG performance as well. So like what I shared just now, both company have strong ESG performance. Yes, it does. It's just that another one is showing more better. So we just want to know what they do better. That's it. Then we only know that when we invest, is it possible? And then impact investing. This one is for sure. We want to look into financial returns. Okay. So we have impact investing. We also need to have impact reporting. Both have to comply with each other. Uh. So there are some steps for you. If you could just upskill a little bit on sustainable investment technique, understand the evaluation methodology. You don't need to be expert, but at least you know how people evaluate them. And also define some ESG value, and so that you can set very clear idea how you're going to invest, and whether can you communicate with your stakeholder. Usually we don't really communicate. We communicate by reading the news or whether they affect the business that we invest in. And the most important is to read into their reporting whether it's transparent or not. So I have a question before from one of my clients saying that how we know their reporting is true and fair. Yes, you can see whether they are having any assurance reporting or not. So assurance can be done by two. One is internal audit, one is external assurance. So both are acceptable by Busala. Both are acceptable. But of course, I believe in 3-4 years down the road, maybe we'll ask only certain certification body to certify. Then the assurance become more worthy and valuable. So another one I want to show you. Mm, top gainer in 2024. BLT plantation Berhad, 11 ringgit 98 cent. Very nice. Over the next years already, from 2009 to 2025. Now, this is how they show their sustainability statement for annual report 2023. Because 2024 haven't came out. 2024 only came out on April. So you look at how they actually put out their training for the employee by the expertise. Okay, very transparent. But let's see another one. Nestle. Okay, also top gainer. Wow, they separate out in very proper way how they operate with the people, how they align with the SDG, in the same time also aligning with the ESG. They show you not only what their company does in products, but also help in their uh, local communities, their stakeholders. Also, they tell you how the behavior of their leaders, how they operate, how they strengthen communication that you can speak to them, and how they actually build society together. You know, in Mandarin, we have this one saying that you take from the society, you need to contribute back to the society. You ask me, this is bad or not? I wouldn't say it's bad. It's very transparent. But can do better. So can do better. Huh? So these are some sharing for you. So when you read the report, you know how what they can improve. We never say somebody do bad report. because they may not have the experience and they try to go in. 50 years ago, those businesses who did not change themselves to adapt with the trend die off. So now, 50 years later, it's still the same. We always remember how Kodak fell off, or how Nokia fell off. Is it their product is not good? No, their product is good, to be honest. My first mobile phone also Nokia. My first film that I used also Kodak. But because of not doing more and better to actually integrate with whatever the trend, that's why they fall off. Simple as that. You may use your brand, as we say, 楼级好啊, to stay for quite some times. But if you need to keep on to be long-term success, there must be something that you need to do. And for now, I'm not sure, I cannot predict 50 years later, but for now and the next 15 years, sustainability is a big topic. And if the company does not help and also involve themselves, get themselves into the ground doing it, they will also face the same issue that Kodak and Nokia facing. Okay, so you can see that they create share value for governance. They even show you how their whole governance structure move on. What they have a very good one, if you can see, they have a board of directors, and then they have the sustainability council. In the council, they involve different business unit group. And then the best part is they want their report to be more valuable and worthy. That's why they have external assurance and also external advisory, which means that they do hire people to make it better. They even show you who are their steering committee at 31st December 2023. So they have very direct 5 work streams, if you can see from this report. Net zero law. No choice. That one is national policy, have to move on. Water, like I say, is a big thing. So their business is packaging, sourcing, and communication and advocacy. So Nestle last time, how they actually promote themselves, they have the Milo or other product go to the school. This is the way how they communicate with us, with the stakeholder. Because the kid drinks the Milo and tell my mom, oh, mommy, I like this Milo. This is part of our communication and advocacy. Now they do more what? They do campaign, and they also involve in youth opportunity. They understand where the market stance is. So when they create the share value and to show you that they really care. So they even change their packaging to be more biodegraded. After 2 years, the whole thing even won't affect the seawater, the ocean, or the earth. So you look into what they report, you will understand what type of initiative they have done. Is this not good? I will not say totally not good, but can be better. Again, can be better. And this, is it the most comprehensive? I will not say no, but it is good enough to actually let you have a helicopter view to see what the company is doing. And when you put the money in, you know that the next 10 years, this is something worth. And usually you see this high price one, they were willing to invest. Nestle started their journey of sustainability in 2011. So you can see this is their how their history grow. So this is all actually very related how the company operation work off. So the PML will reflect. That's why I say sustainability have to read together with financial statement. Impossible you have initiative and you don't have any how to say notable work or notable expenses and investment on that. Yeah. So you have to go together so you can compare. Because we don't want greenwashing as well. Yeah. So by that, it's the end of my section. Apologize in between. I need to pause for drink or soft for coughing. I hope that my voice didn't make you fall asleep. I don't wish to be in this term as well. And for that, I pass back to Nazura. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Joyline, for your invaluable insights and wonderful sharing with us earlier. We will now proceed to the Q&A session. I encourage all attendees to submit any questions you may have in the Q&A box so that Miss Joyline can address to your questions accordingly. So, yeah. Where's the Q&A? Okay.
Give me a pause. I take the drinks. You can take their question first.
Okay. Mm, So now we have two questions. We go to the first one from Mr. Mahalingam Pakiri. He said that your view on US is it the Paris Climate Agreement? Are ESG still relevant in 2 years' time since Trump of running the world are totally different?
Wow, I listen over behind. I also feel very scary to answer this question. Actually, it's a very political movement. This is a very political movement. So, let's look into the way, uh, will it be a setback or not? Of course, it is a setback lah, because US is quite a big market when we talk about business investment. But ESG is a thing that we have to move on. It's not because of any other reason, but because our Earth is really fallen sick already. And if you ask me to look into a global climate perspective, the global regulatory momentum has actually moved on already. US can choose for a temporary setback. Thank you very much. But other region, they have advanced. Let's talk about the biggest rivals against US, China. They have commitment to move more faster. And by 2030, they hope that they're able to provide more than 85% and above of green business and economy. And you look at the EV from China. So this kind of things, it has moved on. And in the global view, 50 trillion of ESG linked assets by 2024 is already a big pressure for this capitalism market. So US can set back. If you ask me, will it be shift by it? I would say that at this moment it will slightly have some very earthquake lah, very small earthquake, but continually it will still move on, because business has managed to risk and create value through ESG for the past 5 years, and it increased a lot of marketing value. And to be honest, ESG don't start now. ESG start in 2004. Paris Agreement comes in is because we are doing very badly. Yeah. So will it be totally different? I would say no, but yes, there will be slight earthquake for now lah. I mean the next 3 months. Yeah. Thank you.
So next questions. What are the key differences between ESG and CSR, corporate social responsibility?
Oh, sorry, this evening is really raining day for me. So what is the key difference? So CSR is more on a voluntary side. It's more on the motivation is due to the corporate citizen and reputation. So for ESG, it's an investor demand. It's a risk management for your businesses. And this is a standardized framework. It is not like CSR is a voluntary. So in short, CSR is about doing good. ESG is about how you measure and manage your company impact towards the world by showing how your company able to sustain with the operation. Yeah. So I hope I answered the question. Mm.
Okay, next question. What are the most common ESG metrics and how are they measured?
Sorry again. What is the what?
What are the most common ESG metrics and how are they measured?
What are the common ESG metrics? Okay. So if let's say we talk about the most common currently is like I said just now to you, greenhouse gas, which is the carbon, and then water usage, the waste. And then when you come to social, it's about the employee satisfaction and engagement because human talent is the biggest asset of a company now. And especially we need to ensure that we have people to move on with our work. Then if health and safety, community relationship and all this. And when governments, I say just now I already tell you, is two governance and behavior. And if you want to understand more how you can read this, actually you can get the three pillar and 14 teams. That one you can get in the website of USA. It can the Futsal got for good in Busa. Then you can see the common one where I just now share in my slide. That is a good one. You can read the replay as well in the YouTube. That one is a very straightforward, very common, and advisable to actually achieve that for the 14 teams. Yeah.
Okay, now
Mm.
we move to the next question. What advice would you give to an undergraduate student who wants to
Oh,
get started on ESG investing, both investing personally and seeking careers on the job market?
oh, this is a very great question. Just some advice to share to you. Um, Learn some basic of the investing first. For example, you need to know the stock, the bonds, the ETF, how the portfolio diversifications work, and then understand the criteria is very important, especially Malaysia market. And then you know it's very direct IFRS S1 and 2 now. You can download the whole thing in the IFRS website. It is free. And then you can also understand more what is the ETF that is it ETF that is like renewable energy. This is the whole ESG focus thing. And then most important thing, stay informed on the ESG trend. I know that there's a lot of information there, but choose a few. Like for example, I in Malaysia I read the Age. Uh, I can suggest you to go and eat the Age, Star. These two they are actually giving very case study related. And then for the world, you can actually go to LinkedIn and see some of the people they actually give some good comments and then they actually post some good things. And also you can go for example like ESG today, they share some very interesting. But of course, I'm not suggesting you to be overloaded by the information. Through reading all this, you will start to realize that how political, geopolitics, and the things that some of the things that out of our control will actually affect. And then move forward from there, you practice this into your investing. So you will be more responsible in your investing. Yeah. That's the question. Yeah.
So next question, does the speaker provide consultancy services for SMEs in ESG?
Okay. Yes. Yes. Can look for me. I don't know what to answer, but thank you.
Okay. So next is SC, Bursa, or an SRG coming out with any capability building or tools for transition from GRI to IFRS S1 to S2.
Yes. Currently, SC is building up a toolkits. So these toolkits will tell you the transition, and then it will be available for free lah. Yeah, if I got it right, it will be lah for free, because they need to show people how to integrate it. But I know because the announcement come very suddenly on the 23rd of December, and then those more than 2 billion will have to start, and then the next year the other has to start. We don't have a really like 1 or 2 year to get used like how the old guide comes out. But yes, they are doing it. So if you can see that they have also have the navigating the transition a guide for bots, you can actually go to SC. You can download that. They want the company bots to understand how NSRF works, and then they also working on building some program for capacity building on workshop so that you can understand and how to implement IFRS. And then for Bursa Malaysia, as you know that they just announced it, I believe that first quarter of the year they should have more documents and also guidance. Yeah. For national sustainability report framework, you can actually go to the website and see they have already a comprehensive idea. But still, the best is go to IFRS 1 and 2, download and read through a little bit. Have a brief understanding first. I know a lot of people like to go and ask AI, but AI can only give you this much. So please do go to IFRS, download the reporting format. It's FOC. You can just download and have a look. Of course, it's a long page, long page. Yeah.
Okay, since we do not have much time left, we will just take one more questions. So,
Mm.
in Malaysia, do you think that ESG investing could push companies beyond short-term gains? How Bursa could strengthen regulatory compliance?
Oh, this today question is a very tough one. But why is this actually possible that having this drive companies beyond short-term gain? Because nowadays uh the mandatory honestly, human works on reward and punishment. Okay, so when mandatory comes in, a lot of people will have to move on, and with the pressure of this they will definitely have to grow. And when this growing pressure comes in and the regulator requirement comes in, yes, they still have they still will push company for more than short-term gains. So like I shared a little bit just now, where we talk about how when Kodak and Nokia issue, I think this is a very big case study for all of us. The only thing I think that we need to improve is on our risk mitigation. So we understand ESG factor can help and also can link to financial risk. But I have yet, to be honest, myself is not an expertise as well. I'm still learning. If we could have more risk mitigation plan or risk mitigation frame studies and move on with all this, I believe that we could even do more better. So how BUSA could strengthen regulator compliance? I think this one is enhanced on disclosure requirement. I think um, we can go beyond IFRS S1 and 2 minimum requirement. If we could do that, that would be more better. And second, if we could get the company assurance in external or independent, then it can show that the reported information is more worthy, valuable, and reliable because credibility is important. And I actually hope that Busa will have more capacity building initiative towards the listed company department that are involved in this ESG reporting and best practice so that they can understand why and move further on that. And if you ask me, the worst case, of course, a penalty. So, but penalty is not always the best. I always believe that if we could have more capacity building, we could enhance the disclosure requirement. This will actually help all company, not only one, all to move forward. Yeah, I hope I answered the question.
Okay, so we would like to sincerely thank Miss Joyline for taking the time to respond all the questions asked. I hope that all of you have acquired new and useful knowledge from this session. May the insights shared today prove to be advantageous in your investment and trading pursuits.